Hello and welcome back to Bite Size Boxing. So we're going to just do a little bit of a recap and a review of the Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora fight that took place on Saturday night. So, where do you even start to analyse this fight? It was everything that I expected it to be, and it was everything in my preview that I kind of thought it would be, and it lived up to all of it. It was chaotic, it was messy. There was drama, there were shocks, there was thrills, there was spills. There was kind of everything that we kind of expected from this fight. It was just, as I said in my pre-fight, it was going to be chaos, and it was chaos. So, I don't even really know where to begin as we sort of start with a breakdown. To start with, the refereeing was disgraceful. It was so biased in favour of Derek Chisora, it wasn't even funny. That being said, Derek Chisora ended up having a knockdown scored against him that was quite dubious. But interestingly, in my pre-fight, what I spoke about was that where this fight would be won and lost would be on two things. It would be Derek Chisora's stamina and Derek Chisora's balance. And both of those things played a major factor in how this fight panned out. So I was quite pleased with my pre-fight really on that. And these were things that most people weren't really sort of looking for, because for some reason people sort of bought into this fact that, well, Deontay Wilder's just been cleaned out. He just got knocked out by Zhilei Zhang. So that shows where he's at. Failing to kind of notice that, if you'd put this version of Derek Chisora in there with Zhilei Zhang, he's getting cleaned out as well. So I didn't necessarily look at it that Derek Chisora was, way better preserved than Deontay Wilder. If anything, I thought it was the opposite. And I think we kind of saw that play out, especially due to things like volume, as I said earlier, right? That balance has been gone for Chisora for a long time. He's falling all over, falling out of the ropes on multiple occasions in this fight. Again, which is exactly what I said in my pre-fight was going to happen. The guy's balance has gone and has been gone for a long time. And that ended up costing him in this fight. And then you've got the stamina. As I said previously, a prime Derek Chisora, he was someone who could apply pressure with his feet. He'd keep a very good tight high guard. And even when he was taking breaks, he would still be applying foot pressure, right? So he could maul you, he could lean on you. And what he can kind of do is that even when he's not throwing punches and being that active, he could still keep the pressure on you to stop you throwing, to bring your volume down, right? Whereas now, this version of Derek Chisora that you've got, the gaps in when he's throwing are so obvious. The breaks that he takes are so obvious. As I said in my pre-fight, he will stagger over to the neutral corner and basically borderline collapse in the corner and just wait to throw a Hail Mary shot while he takes a rest, right? So in those moments, Wilder's just going to be busier. And in my pre-fight, I thought that might be when Wilder catches him. That isn't exactly what we saw. In fairness, a few things surprised me. I thought Wilder actually showed a bit better a better chin, and he looked a bit more physically robust in there than I expected him to be honest. So I was quite surprised by that. He dealt with that sort of messy inside boxing a lot better than I expected him to be quite honest, because historically, when we've seen Wilder on the inside, he doesn't like it at all. But I think a lot of that was that although Derek was very physical in there in regards to the clinch, the punches and the winging shots he was putting in when he was up close were very inaccurate. So he didn't have to worry too much about what was coming back. Wilder, that is. So Wilder was able to be, if not more active, more clean with his work. Again, he relied on his jab a little bit more in this fight than he has done in previous fights. And again, I don't think that's a bad thing because Wilder has got a pretty good jab. And he was able to catch Derek a fair few times with that right hand. Now, something to definitely talk about is that right hand has definitely lost a bit of the sting on that it once had. Very clearly, Deontay Wilder does not punch as hard as he once did. I think we can all now agree on that. He did hurt Derek on a few occasions. Derek was knocked down in the fight. But again, just like I said in my pre-fight, I said there will be a moment where Derek gets buzzed. He looks like he's going to go down. He'll throw an overhand right Hail Mary. He'll catch Wilder. Then Wilder will be flagging. I said all of this in the pre-fight. I knew it was going to happen. And that's exactly what we saw. So yeah, in a slightly crazy, slightly messy, very physical fight, Deontay Wilder comes out on top. So, for both guys, where does Wilder go? People are talking about the AJ fight. I don't hate that. I'm not mad at it. I think at this point, Wilder is a spent force. Look, Wilder looked shot in this fight. It was just a case of, as I said in my pre-fight, Chisora's more shot. And we saw that play out. So, it was what it was. For Derek Chisora, just retire. He's got nothing else to prove. And in many ways, although it wasn't... This sounds quite sad and quite harsh, but it kind of was a fitting end for Del Boy, because as great as he's been for British boxing, a legend of British boxing, there's no mistake about that, and as good as he's been for the sport as a whole and the heavyweight division, Derek Chisora is a gatekeeper. He's a nearly man. That is the story of his career. And in a weird way, him being close but not quite getting it, not quite being able to get over the line, and that's how he calls it on his career, that's how it ends, it's kind of a fitting end for Del Boy, to be honest, because that's oftentimes been the story of his career, to be honest. So, look, for Del Boy, nothing else to prove. I mean, just a great custodian of the sport, a real... Again, a British boxing icon. What else can you say about Derek Del Boy Chisora? Fantastic. Again, not a fantastic fighter, but a guy that every time he goes in there, he gives it 110%. And again, even in this fight, where he was completely shot, his body was betraying him at every opportunity. He could barely keep upright. He could barely... I went back and just for, just for the kind of, to reminisce, I went and watched the Takam fight last night. And... you watch that Takam fight and you realise how much Chisora has dropped off. And admittedly, I mean, what was that fight now? 7-8 years ago? So you'd expect it, Chisora's had, 50 fights? A lot of them very hard. He's now in his early 40s. So you'd expect it. But the chasm between that version of Chisora and the version of Chisora we've got now is light years apart. So I want to see him pack it in because for me, he's looked shot for a while. Again, he's got through fights against people like Wallin and against people like Joyce just on pure heart. More than anything, not really that there was much of anything left. He was just able to grind those performances out. And I think that kind of masqueraded just how shot he is. And in this fight, we saw it, But again, from Wilder's perspective, a good win, I suppose, at this juncture. People now talking about world title fights. I don't want to see it. I don't have any interest in seeing Wilder against Usyk or Wilder against the winner of Dubois Wardley or Wilder in there against a Natalma or someone like that. I don't have any interest in that at all. As far as I'm concerned, someone like maybe, as I say, an Anthony Joshua, someone like that, or bust, really. I just want to see him in there with his fellow contemporaries from his era. But again, a lot of them are sort of packing up now. The Dillian White fight at one point would have been an interesting fight. Who wants to see that now? No one. He would smoke White even now, because White is just completely shot himself. So you let me know what you think. Again, it was everything I expected, to be honest. He didn't get the finish that I expected, Wilder, but other than that, the performance was pretty much as I thought it would be. It was not too surprising, to be honest, but you let me know what you think. I'd be interested to know. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Cheers.